Gives me great pleasure to introduce Fred Young.
An angel appears at a full meeting of the House Budget Committee and tells the distinguished chairman that in return for his unselfish and exemplary leadership of the budget process, the Lord will reward him with his choice of infinite wisdom, infinite wealth, or infinite beauty. Being a leading policy scholar in the Congress and a well-credentialed academic in economics, without hesitation, the chairman selects infinite wisdom. Done, says the angel, and disappears in a cloud of smoke. Now all heads turn toward the chairman, who sits surrounded by a faint halo of light. One of the colleagues whispers, "Say something." The new infinitely wise chairman sighs deeply and says, "I should have taken the money." I'd like to take advantage of this opportunity to thank a few people, but we don't have much time, so I'd appreciate your cooperation in limiting your applause to just one clap per person. Let's practice now on the count of three. Clap once. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Good. Let's thank CEI Vice President Wayne Cruz for arranging the live display of the rare Transit of Venus at the reception. And thanks to the Hyatt Regency for providing the setup to be able to see this last transit for the next 105 years. And thanks to Paul Ryan for taking the time to walk across the street for a free dinner. And finally, a tribute and thank you to Fred Smith, the founder of the Competitive Enterprise Institute, who plans to step down as president after 28 years. Thank you for your help. The first time I met Paul Ryan was at a gathering in my hometown of Racine, Wisconsin, where he was introduced as a Republican primary candidate for Congress. I asked him in the Q&A after his talk if he was really old enough at age 27 to run successfully. After all, we had veteran State Senator George Petak in the race. Paul, you remember, someone I'd supported for years. I was a little hesitant to go after a kid. Since then, Paul's proven himself in the district as a skilled retail politician and a hardworking and able player in the Congress. He was appointed to the House Ways and Means Committee as a sophomore, became ranking member of the House Budget Committee over several with more seniority, and more recently has been a key spokesman for the Republicans on the issue of fiscal policies. My mother once told me that if you stick your head above the crowd, some people are going to throw rocks at you. Paul has certainly proven the truth of this, and as he has become a respected and articulate leader of political thought. Some examples. Paul Krugman of the New York Times says, "His fraudulent budget has unconscionably cruel priorities." The U.S. Council of Catholic Bishops and 90 left-wing Georgetown priests and administrators claim that his budget is not based on Catholic social teaching, also known to them as social justice. President Obama speechifies that the Ryan budget favors corporations and the rich. Mike Tanner of the Cato Institute calls the Cato budget maddeningly timid and vague in places. Of course, Tanner doesn't have to reconcile with the Senate or face voters. And finally, Dan Mitchell of Cato, while praising the Ryan budget, worries that the value-added tax proposed as a replacement for the corporate income tax in Paul's Roadmap for America's Future might appear in future iterations of the budget. Hopefully, Paul, at least your wife Jana fully appreciates your work, because none of the rest seem to. To put this moment in perspective, I want to analogize with the transit of Venus, which in astronomy circles is known as a syzygy, a 6-letter word with 3 Ys. The rare alignment of 3 celestial objects, in this case, Venus eclipsing the sun, as shown in this slide. They told me that there would be a slide. There we go. Venus is the little black dot about 1% of the diameter of the sun. It takes about 6 hours to transit. And a little interesting fact, I was at the Smithsonian this afternoon on the subject of transit. The 1769 transit was used to triangulate the distance to the sun using observations from over 100 observers on far distant locations on the planet. It makes you appreciate that the advancement of science had been as great as it was. Today, we have the rare alignment of three things. One, an apparently intractable budget problem. Two, a president who has little interest in solving it. And three, my two young congressmen who has matured into our last great hope to tackle this fiscal mess. Please welcome this important third figure of our fiscal syzygy, Congressman Paul Ryan.